I mean, the main goal is to just be able to do whatever I want. Kind of like I feel like just having that creative freedom is something I really strive for, and I think like a great way to do that is to just.
On today's episode, we have Joshua Zawidzki, a multidisciplinary artist and founder of a student short film society called Independence. He plans to make a living off of what he loves to do, and his work can be found in various names across the internet, including Abo's Motif. This is Sit Downs with SANE. Welcome to Sit Downs with SANE. Today, we're sitting down with Joshua Zawidzki. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thanks for having me. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
No problem, no problem. I was doing a lot of research and like looking back at your stuff in preparation for this interview.
Right.
And of course, I couldn't have not bugged upon your album.
That's the big one. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
And I had like basically a question for every single one of your songs.
Perfect.
But to lay a foundation,
That's great.
I want to more so dive into your inspiration behind it, especially like even the cover or even like your color choice of pink.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a great place to start. There's a lot of different colors I kind of went through. It was going to be orange for a second there, but then I actually it came as a kind of tribute. I knew I wanted to like a base color. It was a tribute to actually My Kind, which originally was called Pink Skin, and then I changed the name of the song, but I still like that whole idea. And so ever since I had that song, I kind of knew that was where I wanted to go with the album and the whole like color and visual scheme of it.
And what about like you being draped over the fence,
Right?
Then like the outline of the color pink? Because I even remember when you were marketing it, you took down all your Instagram photos and replaced it with like pink cutout. What was that about?
That's I don't know. I've always been a big fan of album rollouts. I still don't think people do enough for that. Even like big artists, I think that's like a super cool just kind of media thing that you get to do once you have that album. And it was my way of celebrating it and kind of giving it its own space to shine. It caught a lot of people off guard, which was kind of cool and kind of the point. I had a lot of people, not a lot, but a few, and they DM'd me and they're like, "Hey, you're not like ending your life." I was like, no, no.
False alarm.
Yeah. Crazy way to do it though.
Yeah,
like
crazy.
A whole rollout offline. Yeah, and so like the whole pink and everything, I really had this idea. A lot of the albums, I like to say it's like a breakup album, but it's a breakup album with like myself. And so the whole idea, and it's present throughout the songs if you listen back.
Yeah.
Is that it's like this other version of me coming out of myself. And so me draped on the fence in the back was like, you know how like lizards shed their skin?
Yeah,
that was the kind of idea. And then the whole like pink outline was kind of supposed to be like what was hiding on the inside this whole time.
Oh, no, that makes a lot of sense because I was like, this is giving like breakup, but then I also see a lot of like the visuals were like you versus you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like even with I think it was something about like French girls. I remember the interview.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, he's coming out of himself, so I could see the vision, but I was like, I need to hear it from the man himself for sure.
The one thing I love about this album is that I did a really good job, I think, at giving it a vague enough like overall theme that I hear a lot of different people's theories, and that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry, I don't really like talking about like what it's actually about, only because I think it's more fun for people to just kind of get to have to think about it. Like that's my favorite part of listening to albums and stuff. It's just like theory crafting, and so I'm glad I was able to like give that to people.
For sure. Even like for my stuff, I like to add a bit of mystery so people can get their own interpretations. That's what that's what art is for me.
100%.
Yeah, like you need to be left with a mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really don't like I remember when Wes Anderson came out with Asteroid City. Like I watched it and I was like, wow, there's so many levels or whatever. But then it's like other people, and this is just not how I prefer to watch movies, but they were like, they finished it, and then the next thing they watched was a YouTube breakdown of everything. And I get that, like, for some people, that's just, they were in STEM, you know? Can't blame them.
They need to have that structure.
Yeah, they really need to go back, analyze it. But I don't know, it's kind of fun to just sit with it and go, what was that?
For sure. And like, what was your process behind making it?
So I started that when I was at my other university, at Bishop's University. Shout out. Um, I just decided one day that I wanted to like take this seriously. I'd made a bunch of joke songs prior to that,
Okay.
which I feel like is, I don't know about you, but I feel like that's a common stream of like, I feel like people start with like, it's jokes,
Yeah,
like, dude,
yeah.
and then one day you're just like, what if we did a real
For
one?
real, yeah. Like even like a lot of famous artists, I'm like, is it, did Post Malone do that as well?
Probably. I mean,
Yeah, I was like,
how's it country now?
yeah, like I see like different, like you see them famous, and then you find out something was leaked. I'm like, wait.
Yeah. It always starts with just like, I mean,
Yeah.
that's like art in itself, right? It's just
Mhm.
playing around, and that's like a pure form of it. But then yeah, one day I just was like, I'm gonna try to take this seriously, and I made actually "Foe" was the first song I made for it,
Yeah.
and that was kind of the driving force behind the whole album.
Mhm.
Um, and the process was really just, it took me a long time. It took me like
Yeah.
2 years off and
Oh,
on.
okay.
And it was just like trying to sit down every day and just put something into the DAW and see what I could get out of it, see what I could write. I had a lot of great emotional stuff happen to me that year, which was really really moving.
Yeah, really
Really get the
inspirational.
juices. Yeah, I didn't have to try really hard.
But I'm glad you're able to make something out of it.
Yeah.
And like, obviously, like I don't talk to you that often,
No.
but I see everything that you do on like the background and everything. And I noticed that you have like a history of like bringing people together just to create cool stuff. So I was
Right.
wondering, like, what is your main goal with all your creative endeavors? Like, what's the all circumferencing, if any?
I mean, the main goal is to just be able to do whatever I want. Kind of like, I feel like just having that creative freedom is something I really strive for, and I think like a great way to do that is to just practice not sacrificing it. Like just in your day to day when you're going about these things, just always making time, and then it'll become a priority. Like I know with school a lot, I get a lot really stuck in when we get projects, I'm like, gotta get these done, gotta do these, but then I'm like, I know our teachers will get a good grade, even if it's like took me 5 minutes. So I try to put those more on the back burner and just make time to kind of do things for myself. But like with the other things, like bringing people together, a lot of it comes out of, and like same with the music as well. The way I always approach making things is like, what would I have wanted, or like what would I have wanted my favorite artists to have come out with? So like that album roll, it was like, man, if I saw like someone I really like doing this, I'd be like, whoa, this is so cool. So I was trying to, I embody that, and then same with like independence and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where I was like, why doesn't, like, I really wish when I came to school this existed.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I want to be able to give that and kind of leave that behind and be like, no, just, and I feel like I don't know, I think people get I mean, I'm no, like I do this as well. I think I get very stuck in like especially school and stuff, trying to find spaces to just have an excuse to make things. And so I like giving people those reasons to, like a deadline or something is even,
Yeah.
but it's like, do what you want, but you have to have it finished. I feel like
sure.
super important.
And when it comes to like creating, I find a lot of people they're scared to like put their work out there, like what people don't like it. And a lot of us, our skills are like down here, but our taste is up here.
Yeah.
So what would be like your advice to fellow creatives if they're like afraid or they hit a block?
Just be confident.
Just
yeah. No, I feel like there's you just gotta own it. I think it's also, there's a super cool thing where it's like, look, I'll be the first to admit it. The Mistress was so poorly mixed. Like the low ends are so muddy and it's so bad. But I didn't, like, I made it in a time in my life when I didn't know how to do that. But I knew I wanted to like try.
Yeah.
And so I did, and it didn't really work, the mixing. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of like I always like a mark in the sand. That whole metaphor where it's like, you do the thing, you post it, you do whatever it is you want to do with it, you put a marker in the sand, and now you have something to compare yourself against when you go to do the next one. Like now you can look back and see how far you've come. Like now that I've taken classes and know a little bit more about mixing and like how to do those things, it'll be cool to be able to compare it to what you've previously done.
Mm.
And that's something that it's also, I think, cool for people to be able to do,
For
because
sure.
when you start to develop your own like catalog of things online, it starts to become this thing of people can't really compare you to other people, right? Because you've got this whole catalog and stuff that you don't want to or sorry, you like people, if you just keep making what you want to make, you're gonna have a bunch of people that this is a run-on sentence. I don't even know where. Basically, the idea is that just don't compare yourself to other people. The internet is a great place to share things, and a lot of people, I think, me included, myself, they mistake that sharing for comparing. But it's your own space, like your own Instagram. You're curating to do your own things. Like, just treat anywhere you're putting things as like your space, and just make that so much your space that anything you put out makes sense there. Does that make
That makes
kind
a
of
lot of
clear?
sense.
Yeah, so
No, I
it
like
becomes your little niche corner of the internet. Your niche becomes yourself, and I think then you can post whatever you want, and people are like, classic.
No, I love that. That's beautiful. And I like that you mentioned a catalog because it kind of leads into my next
Okay,
question.
perfect.
Out of like all the things that you created,
Yeah.
although it's kind of hard to like choose a favorite, but like what are you proudest of?
I'm really reluctant to say The Mistress, but that's like the biggest thing I've done. I think it is also pretty cool. Like I'm always, classic creative can't give themselves credit for anything, but I think that, gun to my head, not that there is one.
Not
Not yet. It's a little out of production value. But I would have to admit that The Mistress is, I think it's just like, even from an outside point of view, it's really cool to see that like that was something that was done.
Yeah, for sure.
And the ability to do that. So it's gotta be reluctantly.
Okay, no, I like that because like even though you can tell like you're just starting out, it's definitely something that you can look back on, and I think you
Yeah.
can definitely be proud of
Mhm.
because it's like there's still bangers, still bars on bars there.
Yeah.
You know,
Parts
it's
and
in
bits
the
and
works,
pieces.
you know, but
Yeah.
you can tell that it's a platform to
Mhm.
something greater, and that's what I love about seeing you just do your thing throughout like
Thank you.
these 2 years that I've known you.
Yeah.
Basically, almost 2 years.
Well, that's when it really started. So
For sure, for
you're
sure.
getting on the ground level.
And since like, we're all learning from different creatives, I was
Mhm.
wondering, what is your favorite unconventional art for artists?
So there's this really great album. I'm a big I do like storytelling in that sense, and especially like through rap. I think is a cool way of doing that, and especially music in general,
Yeah.
like overarching themes and albums and stuff. And there's obviously like the classics like Igor,
Oh, of
and
course.
like there's rock operas that my parents put me on, like
Oh, wow.
Meatloaf.
I have no idea what that is.
Like, he makes like these 8-minute songs that are just like that they have the whole narrative arc in it, 3-act structure. But one that's like super, I'm going for the deep pick for like
Okay.
put some respect.
Okay.
There's one by an artist named Louse, and it's called, I think, The Girl, the Cat, and the Tree. And it's like it's experimental rap kind of. It does the whole overarching plot thing. I always just think that's a super cool way to use an album. I feel like often, albums are just kind of strung together with a bunch of songs that an artist has maybe made at the same time, and that's like cool. But for me personally, I'm trying to do like the whole narrative thing, and so
Sure.
if you got the time, it's a great album.
Okay.
It's an interesting album. It's an interesting listen, but you gotta. I really like albums where each song you can listen to on their own, and it's like I kind of think of it as like episodes in a season of a show.
That's cool.
Where you can like turn on any one episode and enjoy the episode. But if you watch from episode 1 to whatever 12 or 13, you kind of get the whole overarching picture of like what was happening there. And I think the Mistress kind of does that, where
For sure.
if you listen to one on its own, it's like, okay. But if you listen to, I always feel like a great sense of satisfaction when I listen to the first, like when I get all the way through and the last, not the last track, but the one right before that come to, it's like the ending. I don't know. I think it just, I love albums that do that.
That makes sense for sure. Like And even for me, I love a good like series that all makes sense in the
Yeah,
end, but
yeah.
standalone. Like that's why I got the name SANE, because it was
Mhm.
based off of a series I did in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's basically the Hebrew word for hate, but coming from the position of avoiding something you love because of the pain involved. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
each piece, it was a standalone, but it was all leading up to a point where you can confront what originally hurt you
Yeah,
and then lead on to love, but you still have the scars
yeah.
there.
That's so
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I love things where it's just like
Hmm.
I hate using the Marvel universe as an example, but like when you have all these different projects
For sure.
and you're like, okay, it's whatever, and then you at the end it like all ties together. I feel like that's
Mhm.
so awesome.
For sure, for sure. And I was wondering also, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Ugh.
I hate that question, but I'm gonna flip it today.
5 years, hopefully out of school. That'd be
Yeah.
cool. That'd be a
Yeah,
great way
that'd
to
be
start.
awesome. Tuition's not nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think I'm at like a very transitional point in kind of what I want to do. Um, there's a lot that I like would be cool, but right now I'm not really ruling anything off the table, if that makes sense. I can't even think a year in the future, and that's, both there's its negative sides to that, but I think also a lot of pros of
For
just
sure.
like there's a bunch of freedom in that, and not knowing where you're gonna go is kind of it can be scary, but
Mhm.
also I don't know, fun and exciting.
For sure.
So,
It's a very
yeah,
artist answer,
yeah,
but I appreciate it. It was a pleasure having you on our
yeah.
podcast.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun.
Of course, like you dropped a lot of words of wisdom on us, and I can't wait to see.
A little bit of cutting that's gonna, a little bit of stumbling, but we got there.
It's okay.
Yeah.
As long as the point is reached.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter the journey.
Maybe it's not about the journey after all.
Yeah, you were on the way.
Yeah.
But before you go,
Mhm.
we have a tradition here
Okay.
where we pose a question that's been written in our Sit Downs with Slide book
Oh, okay.
to our current artist, and you have the opportunity to write another question
I'm gonna
for the
ruin
next
that.
artist. So, just gonna open the book, and you can read one of the questions that has been posed from a previous artist.
As you grow as an artist, what are some milestones in your career that you are excited to hit in the next year? Um, that's a great question. I'm excited to hit a point where I can collaborate with more people. Like on my first album, there was none, and that was really, I just needed to get that out there kind of
Gotcha.
deal. But I think I do love like collaborating and working with other people. I always said my best work is with others, but my fastest work is alone. Um, and so I hope in the like next year as I like, you know, I just get used to the idea of working with other people in that sense. That's something I'm really looking forward to because I think that would be a great time.
For sure, for sure. That was amazing. Again, it's a pleasure having you on the podcast.
Thank you. Anytime.
And I want to thank you guys for sitting down with Sane. Tune in next week because there's more at the table on Sit Downs with Sane.
Black phone pick up like it's calling me.